Hello everyone, my name is Joshua Gideon and I'm the Focus Team Director at Benedictine College in Atchison, Kansas. I'm speaking to you today from the confines of my very own garage, so please pardon the interruptions of any flies or awkward noises. But I have a message that I want to speak to just more than my team about, or even more than Benedictine College students. I want to speak to everybody I can. And it's about an event that's going to occur this January, the 2008 Focus National Conference in Grapevine, Texas. And the reason I'm so excited about it because 8 years ago I went to a conference and I met a man who changed my life, and he changed it forever. And one of the things I promised him was that I would spend the rest of my life telling whomever I could, wherever they were, about him and where to find him. Little background on me is that I was definitely not the greatest of kids growing up. I got into a lot of trouble and I did a lot of poor things. And in high school I realized that the three ways to be popular were to get good at sports, to get good at partying, and to get good at being a jerk to women. So I looked at those three things and tried to accomplish all of them. And come my senior year, I did a fairly good job at all three of those. And one of the funny things with success is that sometimes success you realize that you've actually failed. And I was really unhappy, and I knew I wanted to start completely fresh. So I decided to go to this podunk town in Kansas called Atchison, to a school called Benedictine College, to play baseball and start over. Well, the very first night, I got involved with the wrong group and was headed on a track that lasted another 3 years of unhappiness, lack of chastity, and lack of sobriety, and definitely lack of excellence. And again, come my senior year, I'm in the same rut. I'm popular, I've got all these things that everybody says I should have. I'm about ready to graduate, I've got a great job lined up, great girlfriend, and the world is mine. But for some reason I'm still unhappy. Well, one day I'm walking out of my work study and I see a group of men that are reading the Bible. And I didn't know what they were doing, but I knew that they had something I didn't have. So I decided to join a Focus Bible study. And in the context of that semester, I met a group of guys that would actually challenge me to be a better guy, and would challenge me more than just to finish my 6 or 12 pack. They actually cared about me. And they cared about me so much that they really wanted me to go to this conference in Lincoln. And begrudgingly, I finally said yes and went. And one of the first things I realized when I got there was, well, a couple things. One, I saw all these guys that actually looked pretty cool, and I was amazed that, these guys actually care about their faith. I've never seen anything like that. Second thing I realized was there was a lot of pretty girls there, and I thought to myself, I bet you these pretty girls care about their faith too, and they probably only care about guys who care about their faith. So I got a lot of work to do, because up to that point I'd led this double standard, where I was a guy who was popular in all the right crowds, would go out and just have a blast, and then come that first semester of my senior year, I started to get involved more in my faith. And so I really came to this conference with some big decisions to make, and there's a time on Saturday night to really take some time for those decisions. And so I'm with a group of a bunch of other people, and they're all praying, and they're pious, and they look like they're knowing what to do. I have no clue what to do, so I kind of just do what they're doing, and I'm there on my knees, and I'm saying, Lord, okay, what do you want from me? I've got all this great stuff happening, and I know you want me to do better, but I don't know how, and I'm not sure if I'm strong enough, and so just answer that thing for me. And I spent the next hour asking that, and he didn't say a darn thing. I was so mad. He was giving me some silent treatment or something. So by the end of it, I was frustrated. I was like, okay, I'm leaving. I'm done. I'm mad at you. Ha. And right as I was about to leave, I just get this sense of Joshua, jump. And that kind of surprised me, and I closed my eyes and was thinking, and had not necessarily a vision or God speaking or anything, but just this scene of this great party, and all my friends were there, and all there was women, there was partying. It was just the material successes. It was just everything, just lumped up, and it was actually a pretty kicking party. That was the place to be. And on this other side was just this void. It was just a sense of him. I'm not sure how to explain it, but just there's God. And I looked at that and I go, that's a pretty picture, God, but what do you want me to do with that? And again, I just hear this, Joshua, jump. And so I'm not an incredibly smart guy, but I'm not incredibly dumb. And I was like, Lord, I can't do that. That's too much for me. I can't do that. And again, just Joshua, jump. And this time I'm starting to get a little bit more scared because I realize he's serious. And I said, Jesus, I can't do that. That is too much for me. That is everything I know. All my friends. That's everything. I can't do that. Joshua, jump. Lord, you don't. That's I can't. No, I cannot. I just can't do that. Jump, Joshua. And at this point, I'm just getting frustrated. It's at the end, and I'm just almost in my head. I yell as loud as I could. I go, Lord, I cannot do that. I can't do that. And almost just as quickly, and definitely just as loud in my head, he goes, Joshua, jump. And I sat there for a second and thought, and I said, okay, you know, if I do this, and you're not there, I'm going to be ticked. So kind of in my mind's eye, I just said, and I took that leap in my heart, and I said, all right, I'll do this. If you want me to do this, I'll do it. And, you know, nothing changed overnight. But there were some great priests there that I was able to hash out a lot of things. And the rest of the semester, I spent hashing out those same things. But I had a group of men that would help me along that route. And this man changed my life so much that he then asked me to be a focus missionary. And I said yes, and had a great time, a tough time, but a great time. And through that, met my now wife and beautiful baby girl and baby boy, and a wonderful wife. And my encouragement for you then is to also come to this conference. The way I think about it is, you know, it's playoffs time. Let's all hope that we're rooting for the Cubbies, and that Jesus is the coach. And what he did to me was he looked at me and goes, Joshua, you're warming the bench, and I don't have bench warmers on my team. And the great thing about Jesus' team is that there's an infinite number of spots on it. The only requirement is that you have to play. He doesn't have any room for bench warmers. And so I would ask you is to come out and play, to take a leap of faith, to come to this conference, and to, if you're open to it, to meet the same man that I met. Because I guarantee you, if you listen to him, that your life will be forever changed.